Hey guys, welcome to Mad Scientist Barbecue. I'm Jeremy Yoder, and today I'm going to show you how I smoke chicken wings to watch football on game days. So let me give you a little bit of background on what I've done so far. So yesterday I went to Costco and I was looking for some chicken wings. I found some in a big pack. They were organic or they were special in some way, I'm not exactly sure what, but they were $1.79 a pound, so I said, those are for me. Then I took them home, I put them in the fridge, and today I got them out, and I took a pot of water and brought it up to a boil. And then I took all the chicken wings, threw them in the pot, let it come back up to a boil, and boiled them for 7 minutes, because there are two things that I want to do when I'm cooking chicken wings. Number one is I want to keep the chicken wings as moist as possible, which is why I boiled them first. And number two is I want the skin to be crispy, and I want some smoke flavor on there. And to that end, we're going to throw them on the smoker, crisp up the skin to get some good smoke flavor, so we have delicious smoky chicken wings that everybody can enjoy while they're watching the game. Alright, so this is the pot of chicken wings that I just boiled. There's still some water in there, which is why I have a glove line and a glove on. It's just kind of a pain to try and pour out all the water. It's not really worth it. So it's time to put them on the smoker. I'm going to get on it right now. Alright, a couple important details about what we're doing here. I have not seasoned these chicken wings at all. And that's because the sauce I'm going to put on them has plenty of salt, and I don't want to over salt them because you can't take any salt back once you've added too much. The second thing is, I got this smoker really hot right now. It's rocking at like 375, and I'm going to let them go for 20 to 25 minutes. So I'll be checking periodically after about the 15-minute mark, and when they look nice and kind of golden, maybe even a little bit reddish in color because of the smoke, then I'll pull them off and we'll sauce them and have delicious chicken wings. And as you can see, these were, I think, 15 bucks at Costco. That's a whole lot of chicken wings for 15 bucks. And guess what? They're going to be better than what you get probably if you go to a restaurant. So we're going to let these go, and we'll check back in probably about 15 minutes to see how they're doing. They already smell really good. One other thing I want to tell you guys about is that I'm burning pecan splits in the smoker. And people always ask what kind of wood I'm using. And unless I tell you otherwise, I'm using pecan 100% of the time. It's my favorite wood. And one of those times that I'm not using only pecan is right now, which is why I'm telling you. So I got a chunk of cherry wood here, and the purpose of this isn't for flavor. It's just because it gives a really good color. And so if you have really good looking chicken wings, people are going to enjoy them more, even if they taste exactly the same. So I'm going to put a chunk of cherry wood on here and add it to the coals that are already there, and I got like one big log of pecan, and we'll let that go. Gonna have some awesome chicken wings for these college football games I'm watching today. It's gonna be awesome. So as many of you know, I live in Southern California in the Los Angeles area, and I encounter people who are very concerned about their food quite frequently. They ask questions: is it gluten-free? Do you have anything that's vegan? Do you get your meat from such and such kind of supplier? And some of those things I understand. Some of the people I've had come to my barbecue events, they come to mine because I get beef and pork that's ethically raised, at least in their opinions. And that's not really because that's what I set out to do. It's just that I get the highest quality stuff I can get, and those happen to be the animals that are the most ethically raised and have the best lives before, I guess, one bad day that ends their lives. But one of the things that's particularly fascinating to me is the number of vegans that exist here in Los Angeles. Where I grew up in Kentucky, I don't ever remember meeting a vegan. I may have met a vegetarian or two, but veganism is quite prominent here. There are vegan restaurants, and sometimes when I do events, people will ask me for vegan options. And I was thinking about it because I've been kind of confronted by people who are, I don't know, puritanical in their veganism, so that they think that not only should they be vegans, but everybody should be vegans or else you're a bad person. And so as near as I can tell, there are three kind of strands of arguments for veganism. One would be a moral argument, that it's immoral to eat meat or animal products at all. Another would be the economic argument that meat takes far more resources to produce and therefore shouldn't be eaten. Rather, vegetables and fruits and produce of various kinds should be eaten. And then the third one would be an argument from a health perspective, that eating vegan diets is more healthy than eating an omnivorous diet, that is, consuming animal products and plant products. Now, for each one of those, I've kind of been thinking through it. From the economic argument, I would say I get it. It makes sense that you'd want to feed as many people as possible, but starvation across the world has been immensely reduced by modern farming practices. People thought that we weren't going to be able to feed the entire human population because we had run out of food as the population increased, but that has turned out not to be true because of advancements in technology. So that one would kind of hold merit, but I think that if I don't eat steak, people who are starving in some third world country aren't going to be fed because of that. At least in my opinion, I haven't been convinced of it. The second argument, for health reasons, I think this is perpetuated by documentaries that can generate interest, like Forks Over Knives. If you want to see what I think about Forks Over Knives, just go to Google and put in Forks Over Knives debunked, and you'll find, not my work, but things that other people have put up, where the makers of the film were incredibly selective with the studies that they used, and all the data is essentially skewed and is not really reliable in the way that it's portrayed in the film. Furthermore, just from a practical standpoint, the easiest way to get complete proteins is to eat animal products. So whether you're eating eggs, which are kind of the gold standard of bioavailability, or steak or chicken or animal products in any form, that's how you can get complete proteins. And not only that, you get many micronutrients and minerals from those meats that would be difficult to acquire from plant sources. So if people want to eat vegan, go for it. It's totally okay. I just don't think it's healthier by default. And I would even go so far as to say I think it's probably more unhealthy than eating an omnivorous diet if you're eating good foods. Now, if you're going to McDonald's every day and eating cheeseburgers at every meal, yeah, of course you're going to have some problems. You're not going to get away with that forever. But if you're eating a balanced diet of relatively healthy stuff, you can splurge sometimes and have that double cheeseburger if you want, and you're not going to, be destroying your health that way. And then the third argument for veganism I've encountered is a moral argument, wherein people will make the claim that you're immoral if you eat meat or if you eat animal products. And I was kind of thinking through that, and I thought, well, it's kind of related to how you view human beings in terms of, the earth as a whole. So you can either view human beings as just a member, a species on a continuum where we're the most advanced and the ones with the greatest technology, or you can view humans as kind of a separate class. And so what I thought is, if you view humans as just simply a continuation of the rest of, the animal kingdom, then you can't really assign moral judgments to what humans eat or don't eat. If you look at, say, a lion that, eats a zebra, you don't say that that's a bad, immoral lion. It's because we don't assign ethical and moral judgments to the animal world. And so if humans are just simply the most advanced animal, then I don't know how you would, say that what's been biologically determined to make up the human diet is morally wrong. I think you'd be hard-pressed to really firmly make that case. Now, if you view humans as being kind of separate, the only moral animal, the only creatures to which we assign moral judgments, then you could try to make the case. But to me, as I'm thinking about it, I think, well, if humans are distinct and different, then we would assign different value to, say, murder. And that's one of the things that vegans like to say is, oh, you're murdering that animal. Well, no, I think murder would apply to other human beings, specifically because humans are different than the rest of the animal kingdom. They're the only ones with a conscience that we know about, and consciousness in the way that we have consciousness. There's no other creature that has that. And in my view, I think humans are the only creatures that have been created in the image of God and therefore have intrinsic worth and value that separates them from all of the animals. Now, do I think we should be cruel to animals? Absolutely not. Do I think that we should be flippant in how we treat animals? Definitely not. Or how we harvest their meat? Definitely not. But I think that because humans are different, we can't equate the slaughtering of an animal with mass scale slaughter of human beings. And so you have to view those things differently. And kind of a combination of those reasons, whereas the economics of feeding the world is becoming much more realistic and much more feasible, where in terms of health, I don't think that a vegan diet provides the necessary nutrients that people need to thrive. And then the third issue, the moral issue, is that I'm unconvinced that taking the life of a cow to feed people is the same as killing a person. And so for all of those reasons, I would say that I don't buy into veganism, especially the puritanical form of veganism where they try to proselytize and turn everybody else into vegans. Now, most of you guys out there probably don't experience that, but I get that pretty frequently when I do barbecue events. You'd be surprised. And I'm not always unsuccessful. So in the last 12 months, I've successfully fed barbecue meat to 2 vegans that are very well known. You would all know their names if I told you, but I won't do that. And I think that putting in effort and trying to create the best product you can is something that people can at least respect if they disagree with you. So if you don't want to eat the meat, totally fine. But I think that they can see the hard work and the dedication I put into creating the best barbecue I can create. It might not be the best out there, but it's the best that I can do. I think they see that, and they if they're reasonable people, they at least have to respect it. And so that's the best I can do. And those are just kind of my thoughts on veganism and the idea that eating meat is somehow wrong or bad. Now, I don't think veganism is all bad, because my wife is allergic to dairy and egg, and a lot of the things that she loves to eat are vegan. So she's like a meat-eating vegan, because those 2 things are just off the menu for her. So thanks, vegans, for providing a lot of food that my wife can eat, like vegan mac and cheese and things like that. Okay, guys, so I made this sauce. It's just a basic buffalo sauce. So I think this recipe calls for a stick of butter, 6 tablespoons of Frank's Red Hot, I think half a teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, and then half a teaspoon of cayenne. And you could adjust all of those based on your preference. If I were making this just for me, I would have upped the hot peppers a lot, and actually probably, I like Tabasco sauce a lot, so I probably would have thrown some of that in there. But this is just a basic sauce anybody can make. You can adjust all those ingredients to your tastes. You can add garlic if you want, like fresh crushed garlic is really tasty. But for our basic general wings, this is what I would use, because most people like it. It's not going to be so hot that it, burns their mouths out. Okay, so check the temperature of the wings with my handy dandy thermometer. The packaging recommends to cook all of them to 185. So they're all at 185 or just slightly above. So I'm going to pull them off. I'm actually going to toss them into this mixture for the sauce and swirl them around, get them all covered, then pull them out, and they're ready to eat. Oh, these are gonna be good. All right, here we go, taste test. So ideally, juicy on the inside, crispy skin on the outside, and good smoky flavor with nice balanced heat to go with it. Oh, that's really good. This is delicious. The skin on the outside is crispy. It like crunches when you bite into it. Then you have delicious moist chicken meat underneath. And I really like this sauce, maybe because I made it according to my tastes, but it is super good. I mean, as good as anything you're gonna go buy in a restaurant, and you have the pleasure of doing it yourself, and then you can take credit when you have people come over and they fawn over all the wings. So this is really good. Yeah, super good. Thank you guys for watching Mad Scientist Barbecue. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and you can subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on other social media platforms like Instagram @Mad Scientist Barbecue. And until next time, I'm gonna take these wings and enjoy the heck out of them.